Chapter 1. The Vow of Veyra. Veyra of the Xalathian dominion had sworn an oath beneath the triple moons of her homeworld. She would never love a human. To her people, humans were reckless, impulsive creatures, their emotions as volatile as their primitive nuclear weapons. The Xalathians were a race of disciplined warriors and scholars, their hearts guarded behind layers of logic and tradition. And yet, despite her disdain, Veyra found herself stationed on Earth of all places, assigned as a diplomatic liaison to the United Terran Coalition. Her first encounter with him was an accident. Captain Elias Carter was a Terran pilot, a man whose reputation preceded him, both for his skill in the cockpit and his infuriating charm. He had been assigned to escort her to a summit on Mars, and from the moment he flashed that reckless human grin, Veyra knew he would be trouble. "You ever been to the Red Planet before, Ambassador?" Elias asked, leaning against the bulkhead of the transport ship. Veyra kept her gaze forward, her voice cool. "I have no interest in small talk, Captain." Elias chuckled. "Yeah, I figured. You Xalathians aren't big on fun, are you?" She bristled. "Fun is irrelevant. Duty is everything." "See, that's where we differ," he said, undeterred. "I think duty's important, sure, but so's living." Veyra ignored him. She should have kept ignoring him. Chapter 2. The Unthinkable Attraction. Months passed. The summit ended. Veyra should have returned to her people, but the Dominion extended her assignment. Something about fostering interspecies relations. She suspected the High Matriarchs were testing her. Elias, unfortunately, remained her primary escort. And then came the attack. Pirates ambushed their shuttle near the asteroid belt. Shields failed. Weapons jammed. In the chaos, Elias did something utterly illogical. He saved her life. Not with superior firepower or strategy. No, he did it by throwing himself in front of a plasma bolt meant for her. Veyra dragged his bleeding body to the escape pod, her hands shaking. "Why?" she demanded as she struggled to stabilize him. "You could have died." Elias coughed, blood on his lips. "Yeah, but you didn't." Something inside her cracked. Chapter 3. The Forbidden Bond. Against all reason, Veyra stayed by his side during his recovery. She told herself it was obligation. He had saved her after all. But the more time she spent with Elias, the more she saw the contradictions in him. He was reckless, yes, but also fiercely loyal. He was impulsive, but only when it mattered. He laughed too much, but his laughter was warm, infectious. And then came the night she could no longer deny it. They stood on the observation deck of the UTS horizon, Earth glowing blue beneath them. Elias turned to her, his usual smirk absent. "You ever think about breaking the rules, Veyra?" She stiffened. "Rules exist for a reason." "Yeah," he murmured, stepping closer. "But some rules were made to be broken." And then he kissed her. She should have pushed him away. He didn't. Chapter 4. The Impossible Consequence. Weeks later, Veyra realized something was wrong. Her body was changing. Her senses sharpened. Her emotions, once so controlled, now raged like a storm. The med scanner confirmed it. She was pregnant. And not just pregnant, with a hybrid. A Xalathian human child. An abomination according to her people's laws. Panic clawed at her throat. She had broken her vow. She had fallen for a human. And now she carried his child. When Elias found her, she was trembling. "Veyra, what's wrong?" She couldn't speak, couldn't form the words. But the scanner in her hand told him everything. His breath caught. Then slowly he knelt before her, his hands cradling hers. Okay, he said softly. Okay. We'll figure this out. She wanted to believe him, but the Dominion would never allow it. Chapter 5: The Choice. The summons came within hours. Return to Xalathis. Relinquish the child. Face judgment. Elias refused to let her go alone. You're not doing this without me, he growled, strapping on his sidearm. Veyra shook her head. They'll kill you. Yeah. Let them try. She wanted to argue. But the truth was, she didn't want to face this without him. So together they went. Chapter 6. The Trial. The High Matriarchs were merciless. Your union is forbidden, the eldest hissed. The child will be taken. The human executed. Elias stepped forward. Like hell. The guards moved. Blades flashed. And then Veyra fought. For the first time in her life, she defied her people. She fought not as a diplomat, but as a mother. As a woman who had found something worth breaking every rule for. Elias fought beside her, their backs pressed together. And when the dust settled, they stood victorious. Chapter 7: The New Dawn. The Dominion exiled her. She didn't care. Elias took her hand as they boarded his ship. Where to? Veyra placed a hand on her stomach, then smiled, truly smiled for the first time. Home. And as the stars stretched into hyperspace, she knew one thing for certain. Some vows were meant to be broken. Epilogue. A love written in the stars. The ship hummed softly as it drifted through the void. The distant glow of a nebula painting the observation deck in hues of violet and gold. Veyra stood by the viewport, her fingers tracing slow circles over her stomach. Inside her, a new life grew, one that defied the laws of her people, one that should not exist. And yet it did. Elias stepped beside her, his warmth pressing against her side. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His presence was enough. Steady, unyielding, human. You realize they'll never stop hunting us, Veyra murmured. Elias smirked. Let them come. She turned to him, studying the scar along his jaw, a souvenir from their escape. You're not afraid. Terrified, he admitted, his voice softening. But not of them. Just of failing you. Or. His gaze dropped to her stomach. Veyra exhaled, leaning into him. We won't let that happen. A chime from the console interrupted them. Elias sighed, pressing a kiss to her temple before moving to the controls. We're approaching the coordinates. You sure about this? She nodded. It's uncharted. Beyond Dominion reach. Beyond anyone's reach. The ship dropped out of warp, revealing a planet. Lush, vibrant, untouched. A world where no laws could bind them. Elias let out a low whistle. Home, huh? Veyra placed her hand over his. Yes. And as the ship descended through the atmosphere, she knew. This was where their story truly began.